Mukla is an IIT Delhi alumni. He is also an EC member with the Alumni Association. He's an architect. He's an architect in the data um, world. He is very much focused on to BI, data mining, and one of the things that we also found out in our AI session at GCC was that this whole concept of AI, it's become so easy to keep talking about AI in every damn thing. You just keep dropping the words, kind of a thing. But end of the day, it's nothing but having a pool of data and trying to make sense out of it. So, what is data mining and business intelligence? And Mukla was originally supposed to be talking about deep learning, but I said before you start going too deep, let me get the fundamentals right. So over to Mukla, and please, Mukla, can you talk about your background and what has been your journey post IIT?
Sure, sir. Am I audible, Pratik?
Yes, you are.
So I graduated from myself, Mukul Singla. I graduated from IIT Delhi in 2010, and since then, right after graduating, I was kind of an entrepreneur because I belong to a business family. So I started this software services business for 3-4 years. Then I joined a company called Sentio. Then I joined Farm Guide, and currently I'm working at Oathbridge, Oathbridge Research Services, which is by our alumni, one of our alumni, Ajay Trehan. So currently I'm working. My main hobby or my main forte is business intelligence. So thank you, Pradeep sir. Thank you, friends, to give me this opportunity to present on this topic, business intelligence. And I would start from a very basic thing which we all know, that like these days everybody says data is the new oil. When you go to Google, you search for something, then you can see the whole magic of all that data. What Google is made up of, it has lot of crawlers which keep on crawling day in and out different websites. It have all that data, plus it collates all that data with all other people who are searching Google, and it have those data mining tools through which it is able to extract that information which is presented to you. So it is that magic, where you are able to, it is able to extract millions of results for any query, but you feel that it is kind of reading up your mind, so that you can, like in most cases, in more than 50% cases, it is the first link, and in almost 95% cases it is the link on the main front page which you are searching for. That is the magic of data mining. So I would say data is not the new oil. I would say data plus data mining plus all that pipeline which is able to create information out of that data, that is actually the new oil. That is actually able to add the value addition. So as Pradeep sir already discussed with us that earlier I was going to present on this deep learning thing. Then I shifted to this data mining and business intelligence. And Pradeep sir also requested that it should not be very technical. It should be actually what can be used in business, or what can be understood by a business. So maybe best ways, maybe I can make you understand how data, like the biggest problem I face today, that people don't understand. People have lot of data, but they don't understand how can that data be used for value addition. How can they use that data to add value to their business? So maybe I can give you those few instances which we have created at Oathbridge in last 1.5 year. What we have created there, which is adding value to the system. So BI data mining at Oathbridge. Maybe I can give you a few instances. It will make very clear that how data can help in today's system uh, in that value addition. So first is BI framework. Earlier, what used to happen was that whenever there was a operational meeting or management level meeting, there was a big MIS department there. they have to give that request to MIS department that we need this type of data. Then MIS department collects all that data from various different sources, put that data in Excel, and do a kind of VLOOKUP and all those things which are available in a traditional Excel, and put that report to management. So in most cases, though, that report was 3 or 4 days old, and whatever we could do at management or at operational level was only kind of postmortem. So it will what we created, or I led that effort. What we created at that point was, I make sure that all the data sources are searchable. So it has to be created through the complete pipeline, that whatever we are storing data, Oakbridge is 15-year-old company, so we have lot of data, but most of that data was not searchable. First, I made that data searchable. Then I processed that data so that schema is visible to everybody. Then I made sure that that data is able to be visualized. So today, if you are in management, you are having some meeting, you can directly go to those dashboards, look up at the live data at a click of your mouse, and you will see the latest data. So so there is no point in looking at 3 4 days old data. And all the business processes, those are very clearly transparent to you. And everyone, like, especially in a business like Oathbridge, where there are like very big team, and it is India's number one background verification company. So at every level of management, at every level of operation, they need a different perspective of that data. So that is very important for visualization point of view and data processing point of view. Why I am able to do it now? Because we have those data mining tools which are able to process lot of data in a very small time. We have kind of hybrid cloud infrastructure which is able to collate that data, compare that data with each other. We can do data bucketization, data comparison, and you are able to see only that data which where you need to do that action. Kind of actionable data is there. It is not that you need to look at the complete reports. Then second instance is kind of transaction tracking. At Oathbridge, our other product is where we do software as a service. We expose few APIs. Those APIs go through a workflow kind of model. So workflow is a typical workflow is that we we receive those requests, we pass it through a machine learning model, we extract that data, we do post processing of whatever machine learning model has responded. Then we pass it through, sometimes through a manual intervention. Then we respond then we return the API response. What we observed earlier was that out of all those requests, almost 5% requests were either latency was high or it was not returning the responses at all. The resolution at that point was that we have to sit with whole 10 or 12% team, like different, who are handling different systems, different microservices. They were looking at their own logs, and we need to have check that, okay, at between 5 to 5:15 this client gave this request, and please look at your logs. What did you receive? What was the response? So we have to go through that process. But today what we have done is we have put all that data to our Elasticsearch cluster. With our Elasticsearch cluster, we have added a transaction ID to every request. Now we know that between 5 to 5:15 this was the transaction ID. We click on that transaction ID and the complete journey is there. With that complete journey, earlier what used to happen with 5 or 6 hours is available to you within 5 minutes. That RCA, root cause analysis, is available to you in 5 minutes. That is a very big value addition, especially for technical department. Then the third thing which we are working on is trust score. It is actually not implemented. It is on planning stage. What it is all about, that we are kind of creating a solution for credit industry, where the people who are new to credit, who don't have those CIBIL scores or those type of tools with them, we have created a model where, like, we have the capability to understand the background of a person. Plus we have the plus we have those agreements with those NBFCs that they are able to share with us those transactions, like behavior of that person. Then we collate that behavior with the default ratios. So for every new person, we are able to assess what is the probability that a new person will be able to return the money. What is the risk percentage related to that? Similarly, in my previous organization, when I was in Farm Guide, so what we did created there was that we collected a lot of satellite data based on a lot of images, and we were able to predict using NDVI values, using RGB values, like there are various bands according to which satellite give you that data. We are able to collect that data, and we are able to do that machine learning thing, where where after that data mining, after collecting a sum of data, we are able to predict the crops at new areas. That was called crop fingerprinting. So now my main point in this data mining was that it is not the data mining, it is about the business intelligence. How can we use that data to add value to our business? So for that, you need to first collect data in a proper format, then to process the data in a proper format, then visualize that data in proper format. Going forward, like this is where we are now. Going forward, what we can look into this, what we can predict, like how will after 2 years or after 5 years the system will be. That is very important to understand for especially our group, emerging tech group. So these days we are looking at only business intelligence. But after IoT, like in previous presentation also, sir, I've explained that there was edge computing. Edge computing is also kind of a IoT where we are getting information from edge also. Not only the core system, not only the business, but all the touch point of a business, we are getting that information. If our customer is using some of our service, then we can put some kind of IoT device with his car, and it will keep on giving us those informations. So it won't be like a business intelligence, it will be like a business network intelligence, where we are not looking at only a business, we are looking at the complete network. Wherever our business is connected to any outside service, we are looking at everything there. In that type of scenario, along with data mining tools, our dashboard won't work. Like with the simultaneous development of AR VR tools, we will be looking at 5 years, that we are not looking at computer. We are just standing there and we are looking at data in our room. That okay, this is how our business is going on. This is how government policies are changing. This is how our competitors are doing. It will be like Iron Man story where he's just doing this thing and everything is changed to data, and we can explore that data and take those decision making. At the end, data is able to add value when we are able to do those data mining. We have that vision that how that data can be collated, processed to give us a business intelligence system. Thank you, sir. That's all what I have prepared.
Well, that's excellent. The first question that I have is that you said data is the new oil, but oil's prices have been going down. So
And
where
the
is
data
the
prices
future?
are going up.
So data is the new currency. That's now. You see, you ended beautifully. It's exactly in terms of data visualization and then how data points are emerging in what we call as immersive analytics with VR, AR is the new frontier.
Yeah.
Likewise, blending of IoT, because what it does is it gets uh, it kind of extends the data collection points and just blend that with edge computing and all that, and the limits are absolutely fabulous. So one thing that occurs to my mind is that to have a session, one we have already agreed on deep learning, but also I think data visualization requires a separate, session by itself. So that we will have discussions on that. Any questions from the audience so far on what Mukul has said? So if that be the case, then a big round of applause to Mukul. And Mukul, if you can send whatever the 3 slides is, and I will send it to the broader community along with the blockchain slides so that everybody has it. Hmm?
Sure, sir.
That's
We'll send it.
so once again, thank you very much.